The weekly golf update on the Dave D Show on Pattaya 105.
Thanks, guys, for joining us around the world and, of course, down in Pattaya, Thailand. Don't forget, it's www.pattaya105.com down here at the studio, or facebook.com/Pattaya105. And if you want to send us a text down to the studio, down to Ian or myself, it's 086 344 8006. Now, Ian's back in the studio, and, of course, we're going to be talking HSBC and Abu Dhabi, Ian.
We are. And as we were saying earlier, what a fantastic spectacle, really. The organisers, the bank HSBC, couldn't have hoped something better than that, quite frankly, and they paid a lot of people a lot of money. Tiger Woods, $1.5 million apparently in appearance fees, but I reckon they got all of their money's worth. They did extremely well. So, one of the strongest fields in the history of the event, with 12 major champions playing, 97 European Tour winners, really extraordinary. And
of course, as well as the top 4 players in the world, 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10 top 4, yeah, absolutely. But
brilliant.
What's extraordinary though is that Martin Kaymer and Lee Westwood, I mean, they didn't really come anywhere. I mean, Westwood was 17th. Kaymer, I don't think, even made the cut. Nor did Darren Clark, Kyrgios, Molinari, Montgomery, and of course Thongchai Jaidee. Unfortunately, Thailand's best golfer, he didn't make the cut either. Saying earlier, golf really is, you just don't know. You can hit the ball like a dream 1 minute, and then for apparently no change on your swing or your temperament or whatever, it's all over the place and out of bounds, in the water, in the bunker, or wherever you want.
Of course, McIlroy and Tiger, of course, playing together for the first 2 rounds.
They were, as we said, and they were matching each other shot for shot. It was really great because you had one or other of them. Let's say it was Tiger drills one in with a 7-iron or whatever to maybe, 10 feet, and then McIlroy sort of looks around and it's like, well, anything you can do, mate, I can do better. And he puts one to 2 feet inside. It was like match play. It was absolutely fabulous. The shame of it was that they weren't playing together actually in the final round, but that brushing of the sand, two-shot penalty, I mean, that was it.
What about other scores, of course, around at the time? I mean, what were the other guys, how were they performing?
Well, what did we have? We had McIlroy coming in second. McDowell with Tiger Woods and Thomas Bjorn came in at third. And then other notables were Sergio Garcia at 12th, tied for 12th. Westwood, as we were saying, at 17th in a big group. They were 6 under par. It's 7 shots back, though. It's a big margin. Padraig Harrington coming in 35th. World number 1 Luke Donald 48th, which he must have been really
why is that? Shocking. I mean, you've got somebody like Luke Donald who's a fantastic player, world number 1. I mean, what's that down to, do you think?
Well, I think for him it's probably a mixture of things. His father very sadly died at the end of last year, and he was under a lot of pressure, and I mean, he picked up his big check, $10 million for the FedEx. I mean, he was playing in the States, playing in Europe, playing all over the place. Big tournament list, event list for him last year, and as I say, the personal. So
you think just a series of events, and of course the personal thing.
And they lay off for a bit over Christmas and New Year, and perhaps he's just taking a bit of time to get back into his stride. But no, he would not have been happy coming in at 48th.
And what about? I mean, I was sort of going through what you were saying, and of course, even some of the other big names didn't even make the cut, though, did they? Really?
No. Well, that's what we were saying. I mean, Darren Clark won the Open last year. Martin Kaymer, defending champion, Martin Kaymer. Alvaro Kyrgios. I'm not sure which Molinari. I think it was Eduardo, because the Italians, 2 brothers, both top-end golfers. Colin Montgomery.
And like you said, Thailand's best golfer as well.
And Thongchai, yeah, poor old Thongchai.
Never mind. But a great spectacle?
It was absolutely marvellous. As I say, HSBC must have been absolutely delighted. You couldn't write the script. I mean, you really couldn't. The almost return, I think we have to term it like that, the near return of Tiger Woods. But Robert Rock, there he is, a journeyman, as they say. Won the Italian Open last year, but first tournament ever in, I think, 200 and something tournaments, and it's wonderful to see him.
This Robert Rock, I mean, I'm talking as a person that doesn't know a lot about golf, and I mean, I learn as we go on, but I mean, Robert Rock, I mean, where is he classed in the world? Where is he ranked?
Well, he was sort of mid-100 and whatevers, and he'll come back now, I think, down to about 55.
So what do you put that down to, something like that happening, though? I mean, somebody like Robert Rock and coming on top of Tiger Woods? I mean, how does that happen?
I think it's very easy to say with the benefit of hindsight, but you know, he did, looking back over the last year, he's had a few top tens. He won the Italian Open. Obviously, something clicked, and he was up for the challenge. And that's you know, most people, if they're told, by the way, you're playing against Tiger Woods,
up the game 100%.
Most of them crumble. I mean, the top guys, I'm playing with Tiger. Well, that's it. And I mean, that's sort of worth 5 shots there and then. And he did crumble.
I played him last week. He's all right.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, we're going to talk about that a bit later, aren't we?
You said we were.
Yeah,
can we just round up where some of the guys are going in, if that's okay?
Yep.
Some of the guys are going out playing over the weekend. Just on tomorrow, for example, we've got some of the Bunker Boys. They're going up to Lotus Valley. You've got the golf club going up to Crystal Bay,
which is nice. Yeah.
The Avon, they're going up to Pattaya CC.
Pattaya Country Club, nice course. Done a lot of work on that, and they're getting it in good shape.
Yeah, coming up, is it that one?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Okay, John Tim Golf Club, they're going up to Eastern Star.
Yeah, which is again a lovely.
Pattaya Golf Society, they're up to the Mountain Shadow, and Phoenix Golf Club, they're playing at the Phoenix,
which is a
good course, isn't it? Which is not too far away.
Pattaya, just down the road. I mean, nice course.
Down the road. We might as well get it out of the way because I know you're sort of chomping at the bit.
Yeah, you said you weren't going to mention that.
Oh, I might as well. I might as well get it out of the way. Go on. Right. So tomorrow I'm going up to where? Where am I going to?
You are going to go and see your mate Neville.
Okay.
A South African teaching professional who has, in fact, in the past on the Sunshine Tour, which is a South African tour, played with Ernie Els and Retief. So we're going to see you 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock I'll be up
Greenway.
There. Yeah, Greenway.
Upper deck with Tyrone and Neville.
Oh.
And you got half an hour. Now, I saw Neville yesterday.
To show myself up.
Well, we got the old hammer and nails out and a bit of netting, so we're going to be behind the protective net and shout, you know, abuse at you and tell you what to do.
That's normal. Just like a normal night.
This is every lesson. No, we'll be nice.
I can stand for that. Neville's okay. He's an okay guy.
A good guy.
I'm sure he'll give me a prod in the back if.
Now, what's this you were saying about your reverse grip? You can hit it normal grip. You hit it 50 yards. Reverse grip 200 yards. What's this all about?
You know, a normal right-hand person, if I say that, holds a golf club a certain way.
Yep.
I hold it the opposite
But you
way.
don't.
I'm cack-handed.
Right.
So what I did, I was tried once to basically say, they said to me, right, okay, away you go, hit the ball the normal way as you hit it as a right-hand person. I did that. I got around about 50 to 60 yards.
Right.
And then he said, do it the way that you feel comfortable, which is I'm cack-handed. So I did that, and I was doing about
so you hit it at the end of the driving range.
180s, somewhere like that.
Very, very
and
good.
pretty straight at some point. You know, and not always straight, but of course, you know, that's down to my body position, as I know, and not keeping
your feet,
my feet, and moving my body, not staying in the chair. I know them kind of things. I've sort of been.
Okay. Well, tomorrow with Neville, we'll sort all of these problems out for you.
And I can come on to the
well, next week you tell us how you got on.
I will. I'm going to keep it all.
And if you don't, I will.
I'm sure you will. Okay, stay with us. Ian in the studio. Stay with us. More to come from us. And, of course, the answer to the quiz today.
The weekly golf update on the Dave D Show on Pattaya 105.
Thanks for coming back to 105 and thanks for joining us down in the studio. Like we said, if you want to get us down in the studio, you can text us on 086 344 8006 or just go down to the website. It's www.pattaya105.com. And if you guys are out there and you've got a golfing bar or you're going away to play golf over the weekend, drop us a line, let us know where you went, and of course we'll read it and put it into the news for next week's show. So Ian, of course, what's happening in the US then over the weekend?
Well, we got the Phoenix Open at Scottsdale, which is a beautiful golf course. $6.1 million in total prize money, $1 million or just over $1 million going to the winner. Most of the Europeans are still doing what they call the desert swing. They're in fact in Doha, Qatar Masters, which I'll talk about in a minute. So it's mainly over there in Phoenix, an American lineup. Phil Mickelson, Stuart Sink, Mark Calcabecia, Justin Leonard, Bubba Watson, Anthony Kim, Dustin Johnson, and then you've got Ian Poulter over from England and the Fijian Mr. Singh.
Yeah, Mr.
DJ. Absolutely. As I say, the European Tour, they're still in the Gulf. They're in Qatar. Total prize money there, $2.5 million, with the winner only getting, or relatively only getting, $500,000. But there will be appearance money fees paid there, I'm sure. You've got defending champion Thomas Bjorn. You've got Westwood playing again this week. You've got Graham McDowell again, KJ Choi, Jose Mariero Olaf Arbol, if I can get his name out, Jimenez, Retief Hersen, Sergio Garcia, Kyrgios is there, and Tongchai.
And what about The Rock?
Nope, he's taken a couple of weeks off, and I think we see him next, it'd be in Pebble Beach, I think.
So he's taking a well-earned break,
He's taken a well-earned break to count his winnings, and he's leaving Westwood and Kama there as probably his favourites.
Probably take him about that long just to count his winnings, won't it?
Oh, let's hope so. He deserved it.
How do you see the game of golf evolved from, your early days when you started, until today?
Back in the olden days.
Back in the olden days till now. How would you say it's changed?
Well, it's become a worldwide phenomenon, which it wasn't really when I started. I didn't start 50 years ago, but certainly back in the 60s and 70s, the cachet was, if you can play golf and you've got to join a club and it's a private members club and you've got to have the money, it was reckoned to be round the world something of an elitist game. Well, that's all gone, and I'm glad of that. Now, do you think it's open to anybody?
Yeah, I can say, do you think sort of back in the old days, if that's what you want to say, that it was like they only classed it as the elite played golf?
It really was. Yeah, I'm afraid, particularly in the UK.
And now,
I think less so in the States, actually, but certainly in the UK.
And now, of course, it's open to everybody to sort of get in. And of course, saying that, open to everybody, that's where some of these golfers have come from. A lot of them are sort of, Mr. Nobodies, and then sort of take it up and they become.
Natural, was it Seve? But I think some of these Spanish golf guys, professional golf guys were like the sons of greenkeepers, or working sort of in and they sneak out on the course and find a club that somebody had broken and repair it and bang it around a bit and find a ball, and that's how they started. And absolutely wonderful. And I'm sure Seve, you used to play on the beach somewhere, I think, in Spain. Absolutely.
Well, I've got a little bit of a quick quiz question for next week. I'm going to stick it on now, but I'm just going to ask you. I don't want you to answer it. Okay, just sort of keep it.
Probably won't know the
answer. Keep it in your brain, okay? It's from one of our guys, Derek. Thanks a lot for sending it in, and he's going to say to you, he says, Ian, love the show. Thanks a lot for being on 105, enjoying the show. Here's his question to you, okay? So just think about this one till next week, okay? Well, you can keep it on your piece of paper or whatever. What is Lee Trevino's nickname? Okay,
good question,
isn't it?
Good question.
So thanks a lot for that one. What is Lee Trevino's nickname? Okay, so keep that one in your pocket till next week, and we'll be answering that one. So any plans for this week and coming up? Going anywhere?
Maybe Lam Chabang on Sunday. I'm not sure about that. Depends on whether it rains like it has been these last few days. I shan't be going.
Now you were saying, of course, about the rain.
It is unusual.
For this time of year, but it is good for the courses.
It is good for the courses, provided they don't also turn the sprinklers on when it's raining, and that has occasionally been known to happen. Yes,
happened in the past. just before you go, just one thing that comes to my mind, which I did want to ask you sort of last week. The technology these days that goes into designing clubs.
Well, you're quite right, and indeed the golf balls. You said what's changed. Well, that really is one of the major areas. The golf clubs, the golf balls, everything about the technology side is now tested by machines and computers and whatever, and so you look back to 20-30 years ago, your top golfers, Nick Klaus, Faldo, Palmer, whatever, they had a fabulous drive if they were hitting that ball 250, 260. Now, quite frankly, it's 320, 330. So
it's all down to the technology.
And there's that, and of course that has the knock-on effect to the golf course designers, because now, whereas a 7,000 yard course would reckon to be long, now it's 7.6, 7.8 for some of these to accommodate people, and in fact you got Nick Klaus and people like that going around lecturing and turning up at golf lecturing on the tour, saying it's too long. Well, you should cut back on the technology, because you're taking land, particularly in poorer countries, that people would be using for agriculture, and you're turning them into golf courses. You're having to use a huge amount of water resources, particularly in hot countries, to water golf courses, and they're all getting too long.
One more question before you go, if you don't mind, from a couple of the listeners, from Alan and Bruce, okay? And they said, Ian, thanks for being on 105, like the show, and they also say, do you think golf simulators are good?
Probably the answer is yes. I've never quite liked them, but I'll tell you where you should use them, or something like them, launch monitors and whatever, is when you're being fitted up for a set of clubs. You go in your pro shop. Don't just say, "Oh, that's a nice looking club. Yeah, okay, I'll take that." You practice with it, or practice with the whole set, and they should be tested for you and your swing.
Yeah, but that's a good point.
It's a lot of money. You should be tested out for them.
Yeah, I mean,
fitted professionally.
Right. So it's a good point. I mean, what about the average person that's in Pattaya today and thinks to himself, or anywhere, Thailand or around the world, and basically thinks to himself, "I'm going to take up golf, okay? I'm going to buy myself some golf clubs. I'm going to go out," and they go out to shop and say, "I'll have them," and walk out with them. Yep. I mean, that's not the way to do it. Wrong
I
mean, what is the steps? I mean, what steps should they take to buying the right clubs?
Well, I think first of all you should go to a professional and have some lessons before you've even bought any clubs at all.
Right.
And the main reason for that is to find out whether you enjoy it.
If you enjoy it, yep.
Exactly.
Sure.
Your swing, and he'll be encouraging you, how to stand, how to hold the club, and all this stuff you're going to find out tomorrow morning, Dave.
I'll probably end up coming out there with a tennis racket.
Yeah, no. Well, we got our crash helmets. Don't worry, we're all set.
Okay, Ian. All right. Okay, we've got loads and loads of emails that we're going to get through for next week, and of course we'll make up the show from around the emails, and of course your interesting facts and figures from around the world as well. But it's been a pleasure to have you down here again,
and to be here.
It's great to have you down here. So this is Ian on the Golf Show down here at 105, and don't forget, if you want to get in contact with Ian, simply email us down at the studio at dave@pattaya105.com, or just get us on the website www.pattaya105. Ian, say goodbye. Thanks a lot.
Goodbye, and see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Don't remind me. Thanks a lot.